Hey, good morning. It's Wednesday, February 10th. I know it's not Saturday, and here I am the last couple of days outside more. But while the weather's like this, um, I like being out here. And this morning, it really fits with what I will talk about, at least this morning and tonight. And it's this kind of seemingly big question: is life random? Are the things of life random? You know, I was checking the weather forecast this morning, and the prediction was for a 95 to 98% cloud cover in a cloudy day. Um, as you can see, somebody got something wrong. But some very smart people were reading a lot of data and concluding the fact that it was going to be cloudy all day. Well, there may be clouds later on today, but my point is, this may appear to be a random thing with the weather being like this. It's not. It's what God provided. It's what his plan was. And you see, it comes back to this really important part about life. Life is not random. The situations that we encounter are not random. The life changes that you and I go through are not random. They may appear that way, but they're not happenstance. They just don't occur. God has a particular purpose and plan. It's not a diabolical plan. It's not a controlling plan. Rather, it's about giving us the opportunity to bring honor to his name in everything that we do. I'm going to start with a rather large illustration from the book of Acts, and then move directly to a very intimate personal illustration after that. And then we'll look at some more themes tonight on the same idea. But is life random? That's the big thing. Are circumstances random? Are the changes that I go through in life random? See, this is important, because if we agree with the existentialist, the people who have swept through the country, through Western culture and thought in the last 100 years, that life is random. The existentialist, life is only for the moment. If you believe life is only for the moment, as do most of our educators, as do most of our politicians, as do most of our artists and writers, and the people that probably shape us more than anything, the literary world, the painters, the songwriters, the artists, the poetry writers, they have all bought into this idea that the existence of the moment, the existentialist thought, is what drives us. So how do you make meaning of life that has no purpose, where life is random? Well, you just do the best you can. And that means I get to ask my favorite question: how's that working out for you? See, Paul had a different view of this. When he had the opportunity to talk with some of the greatest thinkers in the world, certainly the best ones in the Western world, in Athens, men who did nothing but sit around all day but think and talk about ideas, he talked to them about life not being random. So when he has the opportunity to get in front of these guys, and this is not just some casual conversation Paul is having, these men literally had the power of life and death. If they didn't like what he said, they could have ordered him executed. That's the drama behind that story in Acts 17. So Paul tells them very directly, hey, you know what? This God that I'm going to tell you about, the one you worship is unknown. He is the one who gives us life and breath and everything that we do. He's the one who determines the exact places where each of us will live. That's what Paul says in Acts 17. He gives us life, purpose, meaning, breath, location. And why does he do this? And again, Paul tells these great minds and great thinkers, he does this because he's near to all of us and he wants us to perhaps even reach out to him. So there's the bigger picture. Life isn't random. God is near us. He wants us to reach out to him and see him in every event of life. Now, let's take it down to the story of Joseph, who is mistreated by his brothers. They don't really like him because he's smarter than the rest of them. He seems more in tune with what God wants than the rest of them. And then he has the audacity to tell them about this dream that he has, that all of them will bow down to him. Well, you can imagine how that goes on the sibling rivalry scale. They got so outraged to the point that they wanted to kill him. But instead of killing him, no, they came up with a really wonderful, beautiful idea. We're not going to kill him. We're going to sell him into slavery and let the Egyptians take care of him. And Joseph is sold into slavery. He does what's right, and every time he does what's right between the ages of 17 and 30, everything he does what's right, it looks like he gets literally crapped on. It's the best language I can think of. He honors God, he gets thrown in jail. He's sexually pure, he gets punished. He's faithful in jail, he gets forgotten. And then Pharaoh, he has this encounter with Pharaoh, he immediately praises God. And then at the end of his life, he has this opportunity where he sees his brothers again, and he is involved in their rescue and God bringing them back out from the famine there into Egypt. And his brothers one day, towards the end of, after their father dies, the brothers come to him and say, shaking in their boots, please don't be mad at us. And they're bowing down to him, just like in his dream. And of all the ugliness they did to him, faking his death, deceiving his father, Joseph looks at them and he says just these words: am I in the place of God? You may have meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. See, life isn't random. And we'll have more to say about this, at least one more video, probably two, but at least one more. But let's get rid of the idea life is random. The changes that occur in your life are not random changes. God is at work in ways that we can't even begin to imagine. And let's continue working with this. And enjoy the day, at least while the clouds don't come. Thanks so much for being here. Bye-bye.